Battlefield of Eternity, map number 1 in our best of 1, so the only map that we have. We're currently in tournament number 7. The X-Cup qualifiers continue. And the first thing that happens is a ban against Zarya. Everybody that watched Rutsu lately knows exactly why that's the case. I mean, the last couple of tournaments we saw Zarya a few times, not only played by him, but he's one of the guys that will always try, well, maybe not always pick her, but it's at least always a consideration when he's on the team, and they just did so well with Zarya as part of the lineup. It was pretty crazy. So yeah, as it stands, the Chili Donuts here today, the mixed team between Chili Mountain and the Donuts, they are going to try and get more points under their belt for the standings so that they get a good position in the playoffs. Well, qualify for the playoffs in the first place, but then of course also you want to have a very good position within the top 8 so that you have an easier playoff tournament. The better seeding will help you with that. Dehaka, very, very popular side laner these days. He gets banned out too. Diablo also banned when Battlefield. And of course we still got some frontline for the blue team where Diablo could also be played. But I think that Lauba, if he gets a chance, is going to go for his Muradin again. Like, he's been playing Muradin over and over and over again. It was kind of crazy. So unless Team Ordah is all of a sudden saying, you know what guys, we're going to come in, we're going to play the dwarf ourselves, chances are that Lauba is going to fall back on that one once more. Now, Stukov is banned out too. That already shuts down some of those sniper compositions that we have with the Nubarak, with Varian and some other stuns. But we have a Blaze starting us off here into the draft on Battlefield. And of course, since we are in the early round of the qualifier, this is, as I explained, still a best of 1. So if you make a mistake here in the draft, if you screw up during the game, this could be the end of the tournament for you already. Now, as mentioned, there are plenty of tournaments that the teams can participate in when we talk about the qualifiers for the X-Cup Fall. But that also means that since we have so many tournaments, we're starting with best of 1s, move into best of 3s once that we are in the semifinals and the grand final. But obviously, once we're talking about the main event, about the playoffs, we're going into best of 5s and more. So Tracer and Malfurion get picked, and as expected, Lauba goes for Muradin once again. So he goes for the dwarf here, and Make with a very quick Vala pick. Now, Vala has been picked a few times lately, and on this map it's normally the arrow build that gets played, but we've now seen the Ordah attack style multiple times, and it is fucking terrifying. If you have a double support, if you have support plus Zarya or Medivh, anything that can keep Vala alive, a good Vala player with decent mechanics, good stutter steps, he is able to do a lot of damage in the later stages. If you don't die and you keep the Gambit stacks up, and then also of course stack your own quest, once you're hitting the late game, once you're hitting 16 and you're moving into Manticore, into Farflight Quiver, sometimes even Acrobat, you're just destroying everything that is in range. So Vala is insanely scary right now. And Tracer as a pick on the other side is not necessarily bad, but Brightwing can of course use the polymorph against that. And Tracer can't dodge auto attacks. That's one of the main reasons why oftentimes in the past you've seen auto attackers picked against Tracer, being it Sergeant Hammer, being it Jimmy, always depending on what patch we're talking about here. But the principle of it is the same. You want to make sure that Tracer gets hit by auto attacks, since she is able to dodge out on all skill shots. And therefore, auto attacks are key. And with Vala, that is definitely a big thing. But we got Urel in, we got Muradin for stuns, we got Brightwing for the polymorph, Li Ming and Rexa on the other side, which means that Blaze is likely going to be played in the main tank position. And that leaves us with the final pick. Banana H going into Kharazim. We have a double support Vala once again. Brightwing and Kharazim this time. Battlefield is the map, everybody. The only map in this quarterfinal, so let's head straight into it. The Chili Donuts against Team Ordah. Chili Donuts against Ordah. Mako and Vala in the first game, going straight for the arrow build. We have Banana H on Kharazim, trying to punch things out a bit with the standard, of course, on level 1. Iron Fists all day, every day. The main talent for Kharazim, no matter if you're playing him in a solo support or in a duo support setup. Rutsu on Urel, we got Henning on Brightwing, and Lauba on Muradin. Number 1 with the perfect storm. Wit on Rexa for the red team. Death Knight on Malfurion. We have Kelvin on Liming, Zero on Tracer, and a Blade with the new habits as his first talent choice is playing a Blaze main tank in this one. Yeah, the party begins. So with all of this, we have our 4-man at the bottom of the map. And this is where most of the action in the early game, at least, is going to plan out. Obviously, some rotations are expected eventually towards the top. The side laners, Rexa and Urel, are already in position there to fight that little duel, whereas down here, everybody is looking for some early game damage. Either kills or ideally structural damage already. And Vala is going to attempt to stack. As long as Vala can stack here a little bit, that would already be a slight win. Mako, of course, has to be careful with all of this. But with 2 supports behind him, that should be fairly easy. I kind of promised myself today I'm not going to rant about the yellow snowflake, but I see it and it triggers me. So, I don't know. I'll spare you for now. Anyways, a couple of stuns here against Lauber, and the pressure is there. I just don't think that Team Ordah has enough yet to burst through that double support. Now, once that we are heading into later stages of the game, and Kelvin, for example, also has Calamity, that might be a different story, but I think the kill opportunities will be limited for the red team. Depends a bit on what the Chili Donuts can do here to counter it. Oh. Hello, there's the first one. Misha is down and the red team might have to fall back. The rotation from the top lane came and both of the side laners are now moving in. Blade, then again, he's the one to fall first. And that is an opening kill for the Donuts as they lock the camp in and have now the upper hand at the bottom of the map. 1 kill to 0. 20 already for Muradin's level 1. 4 stacks for Vala. So she's doing pretty okay here early on. Again, with Vala, if you get the initial arrow damage in, it's kind of nice, but it's of course more about the Immortal at the end of the day for her than anything else. She is the main damage dealer. Karazim will be able to also get some damage out, but yeah, talking about damage, here comes a lot for Muradin. Lauber is dropping down to 50% very quickly, and Kelvin is of course hoping to secure that kill. So far that hasn't worked out. Karazim is coming in, helping out, punching Kelvin back, and forcing Tracer to retreat here. Or Liming, I should say. Tracer was also busy, but she went straight for the camp on the right side as she realized that there wasn't any kill potential in that little encounter that we had at the bottom of the map. Camp's now taken for both teams. And not really too much damage bot lane yet. Half the hit points are gone on the wall, but there's nothing that has been really forced here. We didn't see a fountain fall yet. So for now, everybody is just awaiting the Immortal. And then we'll see how much Vala can do this early on in the game. Oh, Animal Husbandry! Someone has definitely a lot of confidence here. Seems like Wit believes he's gonna get good value out of the level 1 talent. We're gonna double check on that and see if that's true, but yep, he definitely thinks that he can get the hit points for himself and Misha. Bot lane, again, Shamans are doing a bit of work up at the top. They've already been taken down by the towers and the gate. So the blue team is taking a small but significant lead here on the objective and is jumping in, trying to aim for the halftime show. Now, of course, they at least have the repeating arrow here on level 4. Don't have any additional talents for that yet, and the red team therefore also loses the earlier stage. They are, interestingly enough, a little bit ahead in experience, though. And there's the pause. I'm not quite sure why. It doesn't seem like anybody dropped on their end. And the same is also true for the blue team. So both of the teams are still here with their entire lineup. But as it stands, it's a lot about the level 7 talent. Because normally what happens here is that we now have a bit of a fight, oftentimes even a race for Immortal number 1. And then whichever team is able to lock it in is of course trying to also push with the talent advantage. There's no significant lead yet for either team. We have 1 kill to 0 in favor of the Chili Donuts. But if you look at the experience, yeah, a little bit behind. So it's more or less even. But given that there's not that big of a difference in the Immortal HP, it's actually anybody's ones to take. there are 3,500 hit points missing between the two of them. It just really depends on who rotates over. Is anybody really trying to defend, for example? Are they just attempting to burst the Immortal down once that it spawns and commit with the 5-man there? And if they do, then I guess Make is going to be the VIP here with this Vala. As you can see, he's currently sitting at 10,000 hero damage. That's already pretty decent, more than Li Ming even. And we have him also in addition to that with 8,600 siege damage. It's not too bad. Rexa, of course, is a bit more. He's been on the side lane the entire time. In addition to that, Urel with 15k. But as we're talking about, let me actually have a look at the experience here too. Yeah, minute experience way ahead at this point for the red team. So they did a bit better in soaking all of this. But they are falling behind on the objective now too, and that's starting to become a bit of a problem. Oh, yeah, it started to become a bit of a problem, but they flipped that quickly with a kill against the only big damage dealer on the side of the Donuts. So that's a quick kill. I just don't know if they can lock the Immortal in, because that is still going to be difficult to defend. Immortal is so low, down to 1,300 hit points right now, that I believe it will be very, very difficult to defend this one. Now, Li Ming is of course trying to do as much damage as she can, but Vala is by now back to business. The death timers this early in the game are really, really small. And there we have it, with 5,000 HP left for the shield. The Immortal drops, and the Chili Donuts will have the first objective move through the top lane. And Make is already getting in position here. And down at the bottom, the 1 versus 1 continues with Rutsu putting pressure onto Wit, who so far hasn't died. They got level 7, but keep that animal husbandry in mind. That's going to be an important one if he really is able to stay alive throughout the game. As it stands though, top side, wall at least is going to fall. There shouldn't be too much that happens here. It's not like the Immortal had a lot of hit points on the shield. But yeah, here they go again, trying to come in for the kill. Lauber, the combo, the double support. Seriously, double support is still so unbelievably strong. Li Ming got a lot of damage in, and Lauber just didn't care. You had Karazim, you had Brightwing helping out time and time again. So Muradin here with an attempted Stormbolt. The zoning Stormbolt though missed completely, and therefore Tracer could just dive in a bit deeper and dish the damage out. But we have both of them now with the kill, both of them at level 8. But a bit of extra damage towards the structures through the Donuts. Donuts are by now also trying to take control of the camps again. Rexa is very much so alone at the bottom of the map and is attempting to at least take the one over here. But we already had Urel moving down to the bottom lane just a second ago. But with her being interrupted and Tracer just poking her head out and saying like, hey, I'm here, try and deal with me. A little bit more time was bought for the red team to try and take that camp. The problem is that Rutsu still arrives in time, and look at this. Zero is now moving in 2, so they turn it into 2v1. Brightwing is attempting to secure. Urel for now is able to get the hit points in. A little bit of displacement. I don't think they can buy enough time for that, and no, they can't. Urel falls. Bit too optimistic. Space Goat is hard to kill, but not that hard to kill. So it's 2 kills to 1 now. The lead for Team Ordah. And they are half a level away from level 10. So this is starting to become problematic for the Chili Donuts. It's a little bit of a back and forth. And we're not talking about massive advantages here. It's definitely a lead that you have if you're half a level ahead of your opponent's team around level 10. But it's not like this is going to translate into an install or anything. In regards to rogue abilities, we see few to no surprises. But of course, it's very close for the Donuts to also get to their heroic abilities, and then they might have a chance to go into the fight and coordinate around those a bit. Marker, gotta be careful there a little bit. And they steal the camp away. I gotta say, Team Ordah with some nice plays this early on. They were able to get the camp at the bottom of the map because they sent Trace off very early to help out Rexa, and that allowed them to get a kill. Now they're doing fantastic around objective number 2, and it lends itself to them having another Immortal in the game, this time with a 50% shield. So, well done. 7-sided strike for the Chili Donuts. No surprises there either. So, if anything, it's probably noteworthy that Meridian went for Avatar. Not so because Meridian players don't do that anymore. They pretty much all do. But Lauber was the one that in some of the earlier tournaments this month has only been picking Haymaker, which was kind of funny. Sometimes had an impact, true. But Avatar is, of course, more the standard talent that you could take here. Now, they are bursting down through the bottom of the map, and at the same time, they have Rexa pushing the top. So they do really well here, and they're going to be the first team in this particular series and match that take a fort down. This one doesn't stand a chance anymore. It is already gone. They're trying to isolate Muradin. Hello, Lauber. Yeah, he hops away. But another attempt with the jet propulsion to land a stun succeeds. They can't get a kill against Karazim. But yeah, they got close. And it's quite interesting if you think about it. We have two supports now, and both of those supports have a certain amount of mobility. With Blink Heal, with the dash. But it didn't help them as much as they were hoping for thus far. So right now, Misha is dead again. We're going to take another quick look at the damage numbers, by the way. 29,000 for Tracer. Muradin is dead. Li Ming, together with her, able to secure the kill against the dwarf. And here comes another stun. Blade moves in with the jet propulsion, connects it. Oh, and Urel gets saved by the supports. But that was very, very close. Too close for comfort. At that point, you're probably already gonna take your hands off the keyboard because you're like, yep, I'm dead. I'm down. This is it, but not so fast. So, Team Ordah, they have not lost Rexa yet, so the Animal Husbandry is still active and doing work. Vala at the bot lane is already going for the camp, whereas up at the top, the level 13 talent has now been realized by Team Ordah, and they could poke that fountain down. Blaze by himself can more or less do it. And he's also granting them some vision that they didn't have before, since everybody was on the camp trying to get that first. Now, with level 13, talking about firsts, we have the first team with level 13 as a talent. And the next objective spawns in 5 seconds. So it is a small window for the red team, but it's there. And that might allow them to go for a halftime show, and they get more than that. They get a kill against Urel. Guys, this is bad news for the Donuts. This is really bad news. I said it at the start of the series. Team Ordah, they are not a team that you can take lightly. They might not have had a huge success in previous tournaments as individuals. Obviously, the team itself, as that 5-man, wasn't really around. But all of these guys know how to play the game. They played it for a long time, and you can't take them lightly. And I'm not saying necessarily that the Donuts did do that, but they have to step it up if they want to move on to the next round of the tournament. Because at this point, it is the show of the red team. And they are going to take this Immortal. With flying colors. It's an entire level lead that we're talking about now. And they should have gotten more shield on this one. It still doesn't really matter too much as long as they get that forward. Yeah, even a few more hit points in the shield would not have changed the fact that right now it's, yeah, I don't know. Like right now it would have been a oh, careful, Furion. He's alive and they're turning it with a real nice ult on mouth. The Twilight Dream. Vala is dead. The damage dealer is gone once again. Wow. That attack was a good idea from the Donuts. If that plays out, then they have a fantastic chance of defending against the Immortal without it doing too much damage. But Malfurion, just before he died, gets the Twilight Dream through, and that's all that they needed. So now they are nearly 2 levels ahead, and oh boy, this is getting from bad to worse here. With the main damage dealer, the all-range damage dealer, gone on the side of the Donuts. It is a free reign on the top lane for Team Ordah. Rexa is down at the bottom of the map to boot, so now we have 2 lanes under attack at the same time. They're even rotating over. 2 levels ahead, a talent ahead. Yeah, they are looking great. And of course, they're looking for more kills. They are trying to apply as much pressure as they can. If you're that much ahead, just try and capitalize on that situation as much as possible. That's exactly what they're currently doing. You can already see that they're thinking about invading the camp too. And they definitely should. The blue team is willing to take the fight, and that might be a bit of a mistake. With level 16 talents available for Ordah, they have a significant advantage right now. Malfurion has his ult back up in 10 seconds, so that's something to play around with. But Misha is lost, and they don't seem to be willing to fight without her. So Rexa Good job in the last fight as well, but Malfurion, that Twilight Dream was just way too good. If he would have died, on the other hand, you could see how close to dying he was. If he would have died in that situation, Chili Donuts could have chased them pretty much all across the map and would have probably also claimed the top fort on top of things. But, well, for now, it's 43,000 damage for Tracer, 37,000 damage for Vala. And it's all about the level 16 talent. And with 30 seconds on the clock until the next Immortal spawns, the Chili Donuts have actually the time to get the soak. Now, the problem that they have is that a lot of the lanes aren't pushed out enough for them to get the easy XP. But given the fact that they're committing at the bot lane with a full 5-man, take the waves out, and then rotate towards the top for the next one, they should be able to get it at least around the halftime show, if not even sooner than that. So the objective of the red team has to be to win as much of the Immortal HP as they can. But yeah, there's already a defensive stance for Banana Age. As you can see, 16 talents are there before the first salva has even been sent out. So this is the best shot for the Chili Donuts to bring it back in this game. This is their best opportunity, hands down. It's more or less now or never. If you lose this one too, then you are going to lose a keep, very likely, and probably more than that. You give up all the advantages, all the potential turnarounds and gaining some momentum here. So yeah, it's now or never. If Ordah wins the fight, they're also jumping ahead in experience again, closer to level 20, closer to the Storm Talons. But here we have our little battle at the bottom with another attempt on Misha, who doesn't care. I mean, Misha doesn't really care. Right now, 15 minutes in, Animal Husbandry is starting to do work. That's a lot of HP on Misha and on Rexa. So going through that tanky setup at the front is easier said than done from the perspective of the Donuts. They are poking with long-range tools now, very heavily against the Immortal. At least they're trying to, but they've been shut down most of the time. Another combo against Muradin. He is on cooldown for his avatar, so that's an issue. Yeah, Rutsu with another jump, trying to control the space around the Immortal and also, of course, those choke points and stuns. But here comes a quick blow on Vala and she dies. They get the follow-up kill. Muradin is dead. Guys, that's a double kill. That's 7 kills to 1. And Team Ordah looks fantastic. This is a big problem. Vala just doesn't get the damage in as reliably as Li Ming, it seems. A lot of the damage that we're seeing for her, mainly on the arrows here, but nothing really that forces the issue, whereas the red team is coordinating these attacks on one target, blows them up, and then plays around it. And that's exactly the way they have to play, because there is a double support still on the other side. And this is nearly 100% shields on the Immortal. Have fun, Donuts, stopping this one. That's not gonna be easy at all. Yeah, that's a bit of a disaster. That's not even a wall anymore at the bot lane. Yeah, I don't envy their position at all. There's still a damage battle between Vala and Tracer, but structurally speaking, there's only one team that is pushing the agenda, and that is Team Ordah. So now that they're moving in at the bot lane, this should be keep, and if they can get kills, then it's going to be even more. There's a chance that the game ends here. Ordah knows it too. They want that win. They want to kick the Donuts out, and they have a big opportunity here. And that would be a huge setback for the Donuts, of course, but that keep, you can kiss that one goodbye. Immortal is still at 50% shield, still in range mode, and is taking it down one hit at a time. Yeah, this is real tricky. But there's the kill! And no counter kill on Muradin. Finally! Finally, the Donuts are waking up a bit and are able to take down Blaze. There should be some damage at least on the core from the way this is going. But the red team is falling back. They don't want to be chased here. The Immortal, then again, should at least do a bit of damage. But, well, as I say that, the shield falls, but the hit points don't. The chase is still on, and Muradin dies. They went too deep, and they lose Karazim shortly after they lost the main tank. Marker is trying to get out, using Strafe to zone them away. But level 20 talents, they're now in. Rutsu gets attacked. That's another kill. 2 are up, 3 are down. They go for a Brightwing kill, and the core is wide open. Big opportunity here for Team Ordah to move on to the semi-final, and they make it happen. Well done. The Chili Donuts, guys, they lose in game number 1, round number 1 of the tournament. Very, very well done by the red team and a well-deserved victory with 12 kills, 2-3. The Chili Donuts drop out of qualifier number 7. GG.